Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, I believe today we are reading from 2:7, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's decide this verse. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Karpanyadoshopahatah svabhava.
Karpanyadosho Pahata Svabhava.
I'm sorry, something is going on.
Ichchami tvam dharmasya chutu.
Okay, let's do this again. Karpanyadoshopahatah svabhava.
Karpanyadosho patha svabhava.
Prichhami tvam dharma sammudhacheta.
Pratchami tvam dharma samudhacheta.
Yachreyasyan brūhi tanme.
Yashreyasya Nishchitam
Yashreyasyanishchitam
Brūhitanme.
Shishyasteham shadhiman tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham
Shishyasteham
Shadimam Prapannam.
Prabannam.
Karpanyadoshopahatah svabhava.
Karpanyadosho
Karpanyadosho
Pahata
pahata svabhava.
Prichhami tvam dharma sammudhacheta.
Pritchami Tvam
Pratchami
Dharma
tvam dharma
Samudhacheta.
samudhacheta.
Yachreyasyan brūhi tanme.
Yashreyasya
Yashreyasyanishchitam
Brūhitanme.
brūhi tanme.
Shishyasteham shadhiman tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam.
Okay, can devotees recite, please?
Karpanyadosha upahata swabhava.
Karpanyadosho pahata
Doshopahatah
svabhava.
svabhava.
Pratchami tvam dharma samudacheta.
Pratchami
Pritchhami
tvam
tvam
dharma
dharma
samudhacheta.
sammudhacheta.
Yashreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Yashreyasya
Yachreyasyan
Nishchitam
brūhi
Brūhitanme.
tanme.
Shishyasteham sadhimam tam prapannam.
Shishyasteham
Shishyasteham
shadhimam tvam
Shadhiman tvam
prapannam.
prapannam.
Karpanyadosho pahata
Karpanyadoshopahatah
svabhava.
svabhava.
Pratchami
Pritchami
tvam
Pritchhami
Tvam
tvam
dharma
dharma
samudhacheta.
sammudhacheta.
Yashreyasya
Yashreyasya
Nishchitam
Yasyanishchitam
nishchitam
Brūhitanme.
brūhitanme.
Shishyasteham
Shishyasteham
Shadimam Tvam
shadhimam
Shishyasteham
tvam
tvam
Prapannam.
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 Karpanyadosha swabhavah.
Karpanyadosho
Karpanyadosho
Pahata
pahata
Svabhava.
svabhava.
Doshopahatah
Pritchami tvam dharma samudacheta.
Pratchami
Pritchami
tvam
Pritchhami
Tvam
tvam
dharma
dharma
samudhacheta.
sammudhacheta.
Yashreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Yashreyasya Nishchitam
Yachreyasyan
Yashreyasyanishchitam
Brūhitanme.
brūhitanme.
tanme.
Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham
Shishyasteham
Shadhimam
Shadimam
shadhiman
tvam
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 prapannam.
Prapannam.
prapannam. One more.
कार्पण्य दोष अहतस्म स्वभाव
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्वभाव
इच्छामि तं धर्म मूढचेताम्
पृच्छामि तं धर्मसम्मूढचेता
यच्छ्रेयसन्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधीमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्वभावः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता
यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
कार्पण्यदोषोपतः स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्वभावः
पृच्छामि त्वं धर्मसम्मूढचेता
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता
येषान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यस्तेऽहं साधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
Okay, then go to translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Let's do word for word as well. Karpanya, of miserliness. Dosha, by the weakness. Upahata, being afflicted. Svabhavaha, characteristics. Prichami, I'm asking. Tvam, unto you. Dharma, religion. Sammudha, bewildered. Chetaha, in heart. Yat, what. Shreyaha, all good. Syat, maybe. Nishchitam, confidently. Bruhi, hell. Tat, that. May, unto you. Shishyaha, disciple. Your. Aham, I am. Shadhi, just instruct. Mam, me. Tvam, unto you. Prapannam, surrendered. Radhika, can you read the translation on the screen?
You have about my duty and have lost all comfort because of misery and weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrounded unto you. Please instruct me.
Thank you. Maybe another child, someone who is older than Radhika, can read the first paragraph?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes.
By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such the perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse.
Thank you. So we'll discuss a little bit and then go to the next paragraph. Okay, so what's happening in this verse?
Krishna is surrendering to Lord Krishna.
Yes, Arjuna is surrendering to Lord Krishna. Yeah, so it's very important verse of the Bhagavad Gita, one of the most important verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna. Why is he surrendering?
Because he's confused?
Yes, he has perplexity. What is perplexity? What does it mean?
Being confused.
He has bewilderment.
Yes, he's confused. He has problems. So this material world is not so easy. Everybody, Srila Prabhupada is saying, everybody is in perplexities. We all have problems. And these problems are not something that we want. Did any of you go to temple and pray, Krishna, please give me some problems? No, right? But they come. The problems come. And what was the example that was given in what you just read?
Forest fire.
Yes, forest fire. How does forest fire come about? How does it happen?
By friction of some trees sometimes?
Yeah. So typically the nature's arrangement is there's wind blowing and then the bamboos, they rub each other. Okay, someone is saying lightning. So I don't know, when lightning happens, usually there is rain, right? I don't know, maybe it does. I don't know, probably when there's lightning also, when it strikes, yeah, the tree gets burned, but if there is, I guess, rain, it may not spread as much. So the forest fire, it kind of happens on its own. Of course, there are situations where forest fires also happen when someone goes and throws a cigarette or something, and then it can also light up. And how long does it take to put off these fires? Do you generally have forest fires here in this part of the country?
No, Prabhuji.
In the West Coast, it's pretty common. Every year, we'll be sitting in the office and literally can smell the burning fire in Idaho. It's a pretty big state, lots of forests, and the summer comes and the mountains, the burning, something is burning, forest fire. And as I said, we could literally smell in the office this forest fire. And it takes days and weeks for it to stop. Perplexities, problems, that's how they happen. We just don't know. You know, you wake up one morning and you get some phone call and something is happening and you just end up arguing with somebody. And oh my gosh, why did I even get into that argument? That's the nature of this material world. Forest fire. So when these forest fires happen, what do we need for the forest fire to put off? How do you put out forest fire?
Rain.
Who said rain?
Sugopi.
Sugopi, you give the answer. Huh? I was thinking children will give some answers.
They know because they're learning Samsara Dava.
Okay. So, but do any of you think that this material world is a source of problems? Has anyone thought about it today, that this material world is a source of problems? Did anyone think today?
I think every day.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Every day, right? If you are conscious, we think of it every day, about it every day. When do we think about it every day?
When it's time to do our duties.
Okay. When do you think every day that this material world is a source of problems? At what point in the day? So Gopi said, when you go about doing your duties. Anyone else?
Just with the body aches as you get up in the morning every day.
Yeah. So we are actually being trained to think that this material world is a source of miseries. And the training begins at the first worship in the morning. You can think about it before. But the very first thing, can the children sing the first stanza of Sansara Dava who are learning? The kids here?
Yeah.
Okay, whoever is in the children's school, who can volunteer?
Radhika, you can say.
From where?
Samsara Dava, you know first one?
Samsara Dava Nalalita Loka Janaya Karunya Gana Gana Tvam Pratyasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Thank you. So this is the first stanza. Sansara Dava Nalalidha Loka. Right? The first thing in the morning, this is what we're singing. Srila Prabhupada is saying this material world, this forest fire, these material miseries, these perplexities, they're like forest fire. Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka. This samsara, this material world, Dava Nala means forest fire. Dava Nala Lidha means afflicted. Sansara Dava Nala Lidha Loka. Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam. Now, here Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna. That is the essence of this verse, right? He is telling Krishna, I am surrendering unto you. Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. And Srila Prabhupada is saying, we have to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So, what is the nature of the spiritual master? The very nature of the spiritual master is Tranaya Karunya. In order to deliver us out of mercy. Tranaya Karunya Ghanaghanatvam. Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya. So he has assumed the form of a rain cloud. Right? Form of a cloud. But that is the mercy cloud. Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya. Also, he has attained this Kalyana Gunarna, ocean of good qualities. The spiritual master, he has obtained the ocean of good qualities and he's assumed this form of a rain cloud of mercy. What does he do with that rain cloud of mercy? He'll extinguish the forest fire of material existence. And to that spiritual master, we are offering our obeisances. So the very first thing in the morning, we wake up, not that, wow, I'm going to enjoy today. I'm going to have lots of sense gratification today. No, we remind ourselves that this material world is a source of miseries. It's like a forest fire. And the only way I can get out of here is by taking the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So what Arjuna is doing in this verse is an object of meditation for us every single day. The very first meditation in the morning is to think about this material world and how it is problematic, but the spiritual master will deliver us. And that person who has a spiritual master, he knows how to get out of the perplexities. Srila Prabhupada here paraphrases a verse from Chandogya Upanishad. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. Who will know? Acharyavan will know. Acharyavan Purushaha Veda means knows. That person will know who has an acharya. One who has, say, beauty. He's called Shriman. Shri has other meanings as well. And one who has a lot of wealth is called Dhanavan, Bhagyavan, who is fortunate. And what does Acharyavan mean? One who has an Acharya. And Acharya, Srila Prabhupada says, don't keep Guru like you keep a dog. I also have a dog. You also have a dog. And I also have a Guru. I put a big picture of the Guru in my house and I'm done. No. We have to seek instructions from the spiritual master. And from him, we should know, we should understand how to escape the perplexities of this material world. And that spiritual master should be bona fide. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Spiritual master, he must have heard from his spiritual master. He must have heard the Shruti from his spiritual master. Brahmanishtam, he is fixed in transcendence. This is the spiritual master's qualification. And that person who has approached, taken shelter of that spiritual master, and he can be free from perplexities. So Arjuna is in perplexities. What is Arjuna's perplexity? What is Arjuna's problem?
To fight or not to fight, that is the question.
Fight or not to fight, that is the question. To be or not to be. Shakespeare. So, what are the options? What is Arjuna's confusion? How many options Arjuna has got? You gave 2, whether to fight or not to fight. So what are other choices Arjuna has? What are the chances? What are the options Arjuna has?
To forfeit the war.
Okay, so that is not to fight, to not fight.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
to
all?
live by begging, as you mentioned.
Yes, to live by begging. To live by begging, that's another option.
I'll go into the forest and meditate on the Lord.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Okay. So fight and go live begging or going to the forest, kind of they're similar. And when he fights, what are the outcomes? He could lose or he could win, right? Okay. Is there any other option he mentioned? Did he mention any other option? Can anyone recall? So either he will fight or then flight. He's going to forest. There was one more thing he mentioned.
Unwanted progeny with the death of the elders, death of the men.
Is it being killed by the opposing party unarmed?
Yes, he'll just stand over there. He will not run away. He will not fight, but he'll just stand there and then let the opposing party kill him unarmed. Okay. So when we have a problem, we think about solutions, right? All of us. I mean, not thinking about solution is also, you could say, one of the solution that we want. So whenever we have a problem, that's what we do. Everybody, right? But how do we respond to that problem when there is a problem? Arjuna, did he go through some process or was he just trying to have some sort of a knee-jerk reaction? What is Arjuna's response to the situation? He did go through certain things. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? It's a very common approach. Some of you are analysts here in IT. What tools do you use for decision analysis? Devotees in IT. Is there any formal process you use?
Physio diagrams.
Kepner-Trigo.
Yes, no, Pats.
Yeah. Kepner-Trigo is a certified process. Is a process they train people and give certifications. Kepner-Trigo, they have a decision analysis process, right? So you put all the things in different columns, and then you try to and you have the desired outcome. If I want to get this, this, and this, will this option work? Will this option work? Will this option work? Will this option work? So Arjuna, he was thinking about these options. So what was his thing? If he is killed unarmed, why did he think it is better? Why is it better to be killed unarmed?
So that he won't be overcome by sin of killing his
Excellent.
elders.
Yes, he will not be overcome by sin. But where is the sin coming from? Why does he think there is a sin?
Killing the elders out of greed.
Okay, of killing the elders, but he hasn't killed them. He was thinking, even coming to this point, coming to the battlefield with the intent to kill the elders, he thinks even that was a problem. Why did I even think of killing Bhishma and Drona? If I die, then that will be prayaschitta for even contemplating and bringing it so far to attack them, assembling all the army and everything so that I'm going to kill you. So I'll be free from that. And also then, of course, if I'm killed, then I will not kill others. and there will not be this problem which will also come either way, whether he wins or loses the battle. There's another problem here. What else? Say, okay, so now if he killed unarmed, so everything will be done. What's the problem with fighting? Whether he loses, what's the problem? If he wins, what's the problem?
If he loses, he'll lose his reputation.
Okay. He loses reputation. Oops. Okay. What else?
He will lose his kingdom.
Okay, he will lose his kingdom if he loses. Okay, so that's a problem. What else? So even if he loses, there's also not only he, but so many people are dying, right? Other than him. And then he has that sin of everything that he explained in the previous chapter, that, women will be unprotected. So he gave so many reasons that, and then he said he will be the cause. He will be the cause of all those. So whether he loses or wins, he still thinks that there's a problem. Family welfare activities will stop. There will be Varna Sankara. So many problems that he mentioned. So sin in different forms. He may lose, but he will be the reason, because other people also will die. And same thing with win also, same problem. However, here one thing he will get. What will he get? He'll get the kingdom, right? But everything will be tainted with blood. And still the sin is there. And if he kills unarmed, he thinks that's good, because no sin. No sin involved in it. And he wants to go begging. What's the problem with going begging?
It's against his dharma.
Yes, it's against his dharma. Who can beg? Can everybody beg? Whose dharma is it to beg? Who has the right to beg?
Brahmana.
Yes, yes, right? Only Brahmanas can beg. And who is Arjuna?
Kshatriya.
He's a Kshatriya. He wants to take Brahmana's occupation to get out of this problem. He has a dharma sankata. And he thought, let me give up Kshatriya duty and become a Brahman. And then everything will be solved. Bhikshu, Srila Prabhupada, Tridandi Bhikshu, he signed, particularly when he was in India. Tridandi Bhikshu. So really the Bhiksha is meant for Brahmanas, which includes sannyasis. And of course, someone who has, as Gopi is saying, what about someone who may have taken Vanaprastha? That's also kind of permitted. You are actually in the forest and you're begging from the trees. Vanaprastha stage is kind of okay. So he has a duty to do. Instead of doing that duty, he wants to go something else. So these are some of the things that are going through Arjuna's mind, the perplexities. And he did think about all of them. And in the first chapter, he said, it is better to do this. They kill me unarmed. And in the second chapter, he talked about begging. All these were in the first chapter. In the second chapter, he talked about begging. But then he's concluding that actually I am doing this decision analysis, it's beyond my capability. And he concludes that he has a problem. And how does he describe the problem? What is the cause of the problem, he says?
Miserly weakness.
Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha. This is his problem. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha. Prichhami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yachreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Now Arjuna is asking, yachreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme. You tell me what is better. Now on my list, there are all these things here. Either fight, fight lose, fight win, unarmed and begging. These are my options. You tell me what's good for me. Oh Krishna. This is Arjuna's request to Krishna. Among all these three options, I don't know what's good for me. And the reason I am unable to make a decision is because of Karpanya dosha. In the first chapter, he talked about the opposing party. He said they were lobopahata chetasa. They were driven by greed. But here, Arjuna is driven by weakness. This fault of Karpanya, miserly weakness, is Prabhupada calls it as, translates. So let's read the next paragraph, which talks about this Karpanya. Okay, who will read paragraph number 2? Radhika read first one. Who will read second one?
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Chaitanya, you can read. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I think this is the first paragraph, Prabhuji. Right?
No, this is second one. I scrolled down so that you can start.
Now I can see it.
Okay.
Who is the man in the material perplexities? Is it he who does not understand the problems of life? In the Brihad Arankya Upanishad 3.8.10, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yova etad asaram gargi aviditvasamal lokat iti sakripana. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human, and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs, without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is the most valuable asset for the living entity, who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Ya etad ashakaram gargi vidhi vasmal lokat praiti sa Brahmana.
Okay, thank you. So Srila Prabhupada cites from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad to describe this specific word, kripana. Yova etadaksharam gargya viditva smal lokat praitisa kripanaha. Gargi. Gargi is the daughter of Garga Muni. Gargacharya's daughter is Gargi. She is a Vedic scholar. Here it is said, O Gargi, O Gargi, Yahava etad aksharam aviditva, that person without knowing aksharam, asmat lokat praiti, from this world he goes away. That person is called kripana. Without knowing aksharam, the word aksharam is used for Krishna. Sometimes it is used for living entities in the spiritual world also. How does this go? In the 3rd chapter or 4th chapter it comes, where the cycle of sacrifices are described. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam. Veda is coming from the Supreme Lord. So those who leave this world without understanding Krishna, or when you talk about the liberated soul in the spiritual world, you can apply it to that living entity as well, as it is in the 15th to 16th chapter. Dvamimau Purusha Lokesmin Ksharakshara Evacha. Charas Sarvani Bhutani Kutastokshara Uchyate. So without understanding self-realization, without understanding who Krishna is, if we leave this world, we are called a miser. But why is it that just because you don't understand and leave, you are called a miser? Why is it that? How do we describe a miser in this world?
Stingy.
Stingy?
Someone who doesn't
Yes.
utilize what he has.
Yes, someone who doesn't utilize what he has. That's the kind of person. When you don't use, you just keep it. You never use it. Even if you're suffering, you just get the pleasure in seeing it. Yes, I have it, that's all. So similarly, this human life is an asset. Durlabha Manava Janma. This Manushya Janma, it is Durlabha. What does Durlabha mean? Very rare. It's not easy to get. Sulabha means easily obtainable. Labha, just like in Hindi also, it's a labh. So to get something that you can easily get, it's called Sulabha. Something that's difficult to get, it is Durlabha. So this human life is Durlabha. Why is it Durlabha? There are 8,400,000 species of life.
Because you have to go to so many lives before attaining the
Yes.
human form.
Yes. So many lifetimes. And human life is an asset. It's equipped with so many capabilities. Among all these species, who is dominating?
Man.
Human beings.
Yeah, it's human being. It's dominating everybody else. So that means it's so precious. And after so much struggle, after suffering like a cat, like a dog, like an amoeba, like an insignificant microorganism, we finally come to this human form of life and we don't utilize it. Then it's so unfortunate situation. And that person is called a miser. And a brahmana, ya etadaksharam gargi viditva smal lokat prayatisa brahmana. Only difference is aviditva means without knowing, viditva, that person who knows. But how do you know? We talked about it in the previous paragraph. The first step in knowing is adau guruvashrayam. Very first step is take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And those who are not initiated yet, this is something to look forward to. If you're wanting to initiate it, means you are coming out of this miserly weakness. And you are determined to make a solution to the perplexities of human life. So that's this paragraph. And the next paragraph, any other children who can read this paragraph?
Can I read?
Who is this?
This is Tulsi.
Tulsi, it's such a big paragraph. Okay, how about you read 2 sentences? Okay, I'll highlight. You can read these 2 sentences. Okay, slowly.
The
Kripanas.
Kripanas are miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family society, country, etc. In the material compassion of life, compassion of the life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other member, to the best of species of skin disease.
Yeah. Tulsi, very inspired by enthusiasm to participate. You're amazing. Thank you. Okay, any children who can read? Older than Radhika?
Prabhuji, can I read again?
Can I read again?
Okay. Chaitanya, you can read.
Okay. The Kripanas think that he is able to protect his family members from death. Or the Kripanas think that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals, who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the cause of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty was to fight was awaiting him, still, on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a divine solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet, foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna, within and without. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Chaitanya. So now Srila Prabhupada is further describing the characteristics of Kripanas. So in the previous paragraph, he said, those who do not utilize this human form of life for self-realization, they are Kripanas. Now then how do they utilize their time? They waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. There's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nidreya hiriyate naktam vyavayena cha bhavayaha divacharteha ya rajan kutumba bharanenava. This is the situation. We waste our life at night time either by sleeping or indulgence in sexual activities. Daytime in the endeavors for making a lot of money and maintaining the family. Artha ehaya, endeavors of artha, money, or kutumba bharana, maintaining the family. So this is the situation. Too much attachment, overly affectionate, and waste the time. So however, if someone engages in devotional service, that's good, because that person engages the entire family in Krishna consciousness. So instead of wasting the time, we can properly be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Now, the attachment, family attachment is so strong. It's very hard to get out of that attachment. And that is Arjuna's problem here. And therefore, in the Vedic culture, sannyasa is also recommended for this reason, because this attachment is very difficult to break. And how do we consider these family members in society? Srila Prabhupada is saying, Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. This idea that family will save us from death. Dehapatya kalatradi shvasma atma sainyesh shvasat asatvapi tesham pramatto nidhanam pashyannapi na pashyati. Dehapatya kalatradishu. We put our faith in this body, in the children, and in wife, and we consider them as our soldiers, Atma Sainya. But they are Asat Sainya. Soldiers, but temporary. They're not the real protectors, but we think they will protect us. And I sometimes I contemplate about when I will retire, what I will do, and things like that. And I think, what will happen to me? Where can I live? How much money do I need? What will happen when I get old? Right? We have all these ideas. Then we will think, who will give me protection? Oh, I have my friends, I have my family. So in the back of our mind, sometimes we make these plans because we seek shelter in all these things. Just like the soldiers will protect a king and kingdom. These are our Atma Sainya. But all of these soldiers, they have to die. They also will die. Tesham pramatto nidhanam. Pashyannapi na pashyati. This mad living entity, Tesham nidhanam, their destruction, he will not see. He sees, but he doesn't see. Pashyannapi na pashyati. We see every day everyone is dying. We see the children are not protecting their parents when they grow up. We see people are making a lot of money, but they are dying helplessly, losing in business. We see so many things. Pashyannapi na pashyati. So this is because we fail to see properly. Arjuna here, at least Arjuna is seeing the problems. He's making assessments. And Arjuna's sincerity is in surrendering to Krishna. He's honest with himself. He's like, I have these problems I cannot solve. But what do? We try to have some false confidence in ourselves. We assure ourselves everything will be all right out of ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. And we make so many plans. But Arjuna, here fully, because his nature is so elevated, he has come to this conclusion that I have to take shelter of Krishna. Even before he was engaging Krishna, and Krishna is also trying to help him. Therefore, why would Krishna even give his opinion to Arjuna? Krishna may think, Arjuna, you'll ask me, I'll say something, and then you will not do it anyways. What's the point? So now Arjuna wants to become serious. He says, Krishna, don't think like that. Just to assure you that I am going to take your words seriously, I am making this statement. I am now becoming your student. Shadimam tvam prapannam. Shishyasteham. Forget about friend relationship. Now I am committing to become your disciple. Therefore, you have the right to instruct me, and therefore you can trust me that I will follow your instruction. So all friendly talk will stop here, and it's a serious business now. And this assurance Arjuna is giving to Krishna. And this assurance is what initiation is in our process. We listen to lectures of spiritual masters, we're aspiring, but there's no commitment. We can do whatever we want and there's no commitment. But when the initiation happens, we're making a promise, there's a formal contract, and we're saying, I'm your student, And the teacher is saying, will you follow these the instructions? So you say yes. And then that's when it becomes serious. So Arjuna here is making a serious commitment. I will be your disciple. You please instruct me. So we have a couple of minutes left. I'll stop here. Any questions or comments from anyone? It's quiet. Okay. If there are no questions or comments, we can probably end here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, we have a quiz.
Quiz. We have the quiz.
Oh, okay. Rasraj Prabhu quiz. Yes. Will
Should I
we
go
give a
ahead?
prize? Will we
No,
give a prize to the winner?
Should I go ahead now?
Yes. Did you already launch the quiz or are you typing now?
You're not seeing Prabhu, I already launched.
I didn't get. Okay, maybe,
I think co-host
maybe because, yeah, probably because I'm the co-host. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Let them answer. Do you make these questions as the class goes on or these are pre-made?
I type as class go on, Prabhu.
Wow, wonderful, excellent.
So
Awesome.
sometimes speaker says different things. I try to put the question.
Okay, okay.
Can see the questions, Prabhu, now?
I cannot see because I'm the host, I believe, so that's okay.
Okay, I just withdraw the host, maybe. Okay.
That's okay, no problem. But I would be interested to see the results.
Yeah. Right, we have 50% voted now.
How was the performance?
Yeah, we can see the result. I'll share the result quickly. So we'll take maybe 1 more minute. I think everyone can answer by the time. Okay, we have more 5 participants left. Okay, 30 more seconds. Please try to submit if you are answering. Okay, Sevanandini is saying that the questions are little difficult. He needs a little more time. I mean, okay.
You're being
She,
partial to your wife, Rasraj Prabhu.
No, she's saying in the from the back end
she
backside
can,
side.
she can ask your daughter Advika and she'll tell the answers.
All right, I will take her request. Maybe I'll give 30 more seconds. Okay, I think, yeah.
That's how you purchase your dinner, huh? Dinner prasadam.
All right, I think we'll end in 10 seconds. Okay. All right, I'm closing the poll now and share result. Prabhu, now can you see, Prabhu, the question answer?
No. Can you share your screen? Maybe that would be easier.
But even if share this poll answer can't see, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can are others able to see?
Yes.
Yes, all of us are.
Yes,
able to
Prabhuji, we can see.
Okay, maybe he did something so that I won't say whether it's the right or wrong.
No,
Right?
usually even a co-host can see, Prabhu. I don't know why
Yeah,
you are not.
I'm no longer a co-host actually.
Yeah, I mean, when I do the share result.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. You can say.
Okay.
You can,
So
yeah.
the first question is, how do we compare real perplexity and a forest fire? Okay. The correct answer is both happen without desire and without being set by anyone. That is what the answer. Second is, what is the definition of man in material perplexity? Okay, so there are multiple options. So correct answer is one who does not understand the problems of life.
Not just problems of life, but one who actually leaves this world. If that means kripana, it means one who dies without self-realization. Okay.
Yeah, that option is not there. This is the one. And next question is the what is there. Next question is that, okay, which of the below statements are true for the word miser or kripana? So there are multiple options. So what we discussed all, like one who does not utilize the most valuable human form, one who waste their time in a material bodily conception, one who possesses strong attachment with family, life, wife, children, And fourth is quits like cats and dog without understanding self-realization. So these four are the correct answer. You can, it's a multi-choice. And second is that what is the correct definition of a Brahmana as per Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad? So the correct answer is that Brahmana is intelligent and utilizes the human body to solve the all problems of life. This is the as per that definition in purport.
Yes.
And how does the mundane scholar understand Krishna? That's the last statement of purport what we read. The correct answer is mundane scholars thinks that there is no difference between Krishna within and without, and there is some other points were there, but this is also. And next question is, what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita 2.7? So the correct essence is that approach a bona fide spiritual master to come out of the material perplexities. That is the one of the essence to this word. And finally, why did Arjuna surrender to Krishna? So the two correct answer, Arjuna was confused about his duty, and second is Arjuna lost all composure because of miserly weakness. So these two the correct answer. So
all of the above is answer, right?
Yeah, all of the above can be true. Yeah, that's correct. When someone selected all of the above, this is just a tweak I put like that. All of the above, these four are correct answer for question number 3. So that's all. Thank you everyone for participating in the quiz, and thank you Prabhuji for giving the nice lecture. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Koti
Krishna,
Vaishnavi
Hare
ki
Krishna, Jai
jai.
Prabhupada.
Srila
Thank
Prabhupada
you,
ki
Prabhuji.
jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a nice class.
Thank you all the children for your nice participation.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.